I am so thrilled we're here at the Labor Film Festival. And so you asked, Ryan, why would I agree to allow 2 award-winning stalkers into my life? It's a very good question. And I did it without hesitation, without hesitation. Well, of course, it was personally problematic for me, but I really do feel at a time when you have the president calling the media the enemy of the people, when you have these billionaire tech bros like Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, buying the Washington Post. You know, under his reign there, they developed that slogan, democracy dies in darkness, which is so true. Well, the Washington Post is going through very dark times right now, as they just fired or laid off a third of the reporting staff, hundreds of reporters, at the same time that Jeff Bezos paid $40 million for a documentary about Melania that did not exactly receive rave reviews, and spent another $35 million on publicity for it. And now I think just in the past week they're talking about reviving The Apprentice with Donald Trump Jr. What is all that about? From the paying tens of millions of dollars to cutting the newsroom staff, might it all be about currying favor? Yeah. The level of pressure on the media right now as he sues CBS and they settled for $16 million, as you saw, ABC as they settled for $50 million. I truly believe they would have won in court. Yeah. But for CBS, the stakes were much higher, right? Then they got this Trump FCC approved merger that was worth, what, $8 billion between Paramount and Skydance. And just last week, having the head of Paramount, David Ellison, his father, Larry Ellison, you know, very devoted Trump allies, holding a dinner, this media owner honoring President Trump. And the shuttering of newspapers around the country, the eviscerating the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and a huge shout out tonight as we celebrate WHUT, Howard University PBS. We have a number of you are here celebrating because of this very important station. And a shout out tomorrow, we'll be doing the fundraiser to WPFW, one of the Pacifica 5. And I want to have Julie Drizzen stand up, the founding producer of Democracy Now!, wherever you are. But the idea that when we cover war, we're not brought to you by weapons manufacturers. When we cover the climate, we're not brought to you by the oil, gas, and coal companies. When we cover inequality, we're not brought to you by the banks and the financial institutions. We are brought to you by the listeners, the viewers, the readers that are committed to gathering authentic, trustworthy information so you can decide the policies you want your country, the most powerful on earth, to represent.
I mean, it is so true that as a result of media consolidation, we're not only seeing a diminishing of the practice of journalism, but we are also seeing the narrowing of the kinds of stories that get financed and produced, and the narrowing of the creators that make them. And Amy was the first broadcaster, national broadcaster, to broadcast the voices of Randall Robertson, of Maxine Waters, of Aristide himself, making it clear this was not voluntary, this was a kidnapping, this was a coup. So Amy had her camera, she was doing these amazing interviews. Anyhow, it was remarkable because of her coverage, the rest of the news media started to rethink how they were characterizing this event. And, you know, I think that's really why we call this film Steal the Story, Please, because we saw time and time again how the stories that were covered by the Democracy Now! Team, by Amy, you know, were eventually taken up by the news media. And Amy's not precious about that. You know, she actually wants that to happen. She dares the news media to take her stories.
I think an exclusive is a failure when we're the only ones who have the story we wanted to, and I know you feel the same way with Drop Site News, Ryan. We wanted to reverberate around the world, so you see it's Standing Rock. I mean, I used to go into the network studios to be interviewed at CNN or MS at the time, NBC, and I would say to the host off air, why don't you cover the climate catastrophe more? And they would say, you know, because the corporate executives say people will be bored, that they won't, you know, they'll lose eyeballs, as I was saying in the film. And this proved the whole thing wrong. 14 million views of this one protest in 24 hours. Any network executive would drool to have that kind of attention. It's just critical that also reporters know no borders, that we cover the globe, that we get these stories out. We need to be able to see the rest of the world through something other than a corporate lens. And it's really important. It's a matter of national security that the rest of the world see us through something other than a corporate lens. The media can be the greatest force for peace on earth. Instead, all too often, it's wielded as a weapon of war, which is why we have to take the media back.
This is the opening night, not only of the Labor Film Festival, but it's the opening night of our theatrical release in this Washington, D.C. area. And it will stay in this theater as long as people show up. We don't have 70mm print. We don't have the print ad budget of Warner Brothers, but we do have a superhero, and we have all of you, and we need you each to be our ambassadors to let people know about this film that is playing here at the AFI Silver Theatre and that they must show up. I think we're booked through next Thursday. If enough people show up, the film will be extended. Not only that, but other communities will book it in the area. So I really, really ask, if you like this film, and if you didn't, that's okay, go home, enjoy. But if you did like this film, and you want communities like yourselves to get together, please spread the word. We have postcards in the back.
And I always say, you know, what's amazing about the internet is you don't have the traditional gatekeepers. You can learn so much and reach out to people all over the world. But it is also a global rumor mill, and we know, especially for young people, the silos of hate you can fall into. And it's so important to find trusted sources where you can branch out, where the sky is the limit, where you can learn so much and hear people speaking for themselves, closest to the story, not the typical pundits who know so little about so much, explaining the world to us and getting it so wrong. And democracynow.org is a great way, and Instagram, Democracy Now!, and YouTube, to find the other sources that you can really trust. You know, I really believe that independent media is the oxygen of a democracy. And as Maria Ressa said, the Nobel Peace Prize winning journalist from the Philippines, a woman who certainly knows who was under attack by Duterte, who's now on trial at The Hague. The rights you lose today, you may never get back. The embedding process brought the media to an all-time low. As I say in the film, as you said, you're thinking, oh wow, these journalists get to go right there on the battlefield, tell us what it's like. but you are eating with the troops, sleeping with the troops, your life is in their hands. It tells you something. It's what it's like to be at the trigger end of a war. What is it like to be at the target end? So often in the lead up to the Iraq War, you had the global news hosts, I sort of hesitate to say journalists, but these news hosts going into a tank or into a plane, sitting in the pilot's seat and saying, what's it like to hit these buttons? What's it like to be at the receiving end of hitting those buttons? You know, we are not supposed to be circling the wagons around the White House at a time of war. We see Hegseth excoriating journalists for even raising the number of injured and dead U.S. service members. Are you kidding? I thought we're supposed to deeply care about them and know about them. I see the media as a huge kitchen table that stretches across the globe, that we all sit around and debate and discuss the most important issues of the day. And anything less than that is a disservice to the servicemen and women of this country. It's a very good question. How do you deal with the mental capacity of seeing people die, of covering such difficult issues, whether I'm personally seeing it or not? As I told Tia and Carl, I suffer from PTSD every day, post-traumatic show disorder. And that's both, I mean, it is very hard. And I think perhaps the best therapy is that it's not just on my shoulders, it's on all of our shoulders. And that's what independent media is all about. We have very serious decisions to make about the country we live in, the most powerful country on earth. The president occupies the most powerful position on earth, but there is a force more powerful, and it's you here in this room with everyone else in cinemas around the country, listening to radio, watching Democracy Now! On TV, reading the transcripts, celebrating independent media around the country and around the world. That movement is more powerful than anything we experience, and that's what gives me most hope. I deeply believe that change is possible, and if you're involved with social change, you will help to build a foundation. We can't predict when that magic moment will come, but when it does, if you've built that foundation, you will help to make history, change the future.
You prove to all of us that journalism is about your heart and your values and your intellect all matching up and saying, I'm going to make sure that the things that people want to remain unseen for the benefit of a few become seen to all of us.
We're going to do a group selfie. We're going to stand. We're going to with all of you behind us. Okay. Of course. Oh, this is beautiful.
Democracy Now! Democracy, come on.
Oh, wait, come over here a little toward me. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you.